I like what Izzy said. Izzy said, you got to break up with the game before it breaks up with you. He said it
Dude.
so well. And it's true. And, you know, I feel like I've kind of been cheated on a little by the game. But as it quite broke, I guess I'm too weak to break up. And then I think, man, am I the guy that keeps going back to the one that cheats on me, you know? And that's what he's talking about. It's like, holy cow. Seeing that people sometimes didn't understand what I was doing,
right,
inspired me. Like, hey, maybe I could give that. Maybe I could give that.
I like that.
To the fighter, to like that their art can come out, because it's not just a spinning heel kick. It's how many steps set that up.
This is the most intimate conversation we've had, but we've spent a lot of time beating the shit out of each other.
That's which is arguably more intimate sometimes. It's true. You see the soul of somebody.
Yeah, dude.
There's no way around it.
It is totally that.
There's no way around it. There just isn't. It tells the truth, because I will kill you. It's just so simple. It's beautiful. It's easy. I don't have to worry about if I trust you or not anymore. I don't have to even care.
Yeah.
I just gotta fuck you up, and you're gonna fuck me up, and that's enough. I said I'd like it. I didn't say it was gonna happen. And that's part of the freedom of it, is just surrendering to the fact that if it never happened, would I be okay with my life?
The name's JonMac, pro fighter, published author, public speaker. And for the last few years, I've been living life in a van. Meet Appa, my Japanese-inspired tea house on wheels. Welcome in. Coffee, tea, whiskey. That's how it begins. My podcast. The one where we sit and talk about life. Thoughts, stories, human things. You know human things. The things that make us human. If that's your cup of tea, then welcome in. Drinks on me. Welcome in, bro.
It's not what it looks like.
Yo, what up, y'all? JonMac here. Cutting into the multiverse that is JonMac's Teahouse. We're gonna go ahead and jump you, or I'm gonna jump you, or we're going to jump together to the present day, which is today. Today is May 18th. Today is Sunday, May 18th, 4:20. I have to publish this episode in an hour and 20 minutes, but I just kind of want to film this disclaimer, and then I guess maybe allow you to see a little bit behind the scenes of what's been happening in JonMac's Teahouse, the universe that I live in. But this is one of the episodes, if you watch any of the first 4 episodes, you already know that sometimes the audio gets messed up and GoPros are overheating, and I'm kind of like figuring out this whole tech thing. This is one of the episodes. I had 3 episodes on the season that were just kind of like really, we need to salvage some stuff. Couple of episodes that were filmed in 240 frames per second instead of 24, and just having this whole crazy slow-mo thing that was happening. And then on this episode, on Dom's episode, the audio was shit. Basically, it sounded like I didn't fully plug in the audio jack, and it just had this meh, this buzz like the entire time. So I was like, fuck, I guess we just like lost the audio on this, and we're not gonna have this podcast. Thankfully, the homie Shane came into play, which is one of the reasons I'm here in San Diego right now, is for him to kind of help me. We ran it through some different AI programs to kind of get it to sound where it is right now, which is literally the best that we could do. We went through some phases where it sounded like literally like Christian Bale from freaking Batman talking because of what it was doing to our voices. So we tried our best to salvage the audio. If it doesn't sound as organic and as natural as the other conversations, know that that's why we had to run it through artificial intelligence. So it's not fully organic, but it's the best what we could do. And that's part of showing up to life, is you just have to do the best what you can do with what you have. And so early apologies for the audio in this episode if it doesn't seem at par or whatnot, or maybe it was going to be fine to you and now I've just made it clear that, you know, whatever that is. But this is also the essence of JonMac's Teahouse, right? Just keeping it real with you guys. So yeah, like I said, the audio's a little fucked. We tried our best to salvage it. And yeah, that's it. I need to go throw this on this episode now so that I can get this out in an hour and 20 minutes. It's weird, guys. Like, I'm in this weird universe right now of like editing and publishing season 1, but then I'm also currently filming season 2, and it's just this song and dance of like, I don't know what's kind of really happening right now, but this is what's happening, and what's happening is I need to get this episode out. So enjoy the episode. If you've been tuning in, thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time here, welcome to JonMac's Teahouse. All right, back to the episode. All right, this is Alpa. This is my van.
Alpa is what you named the van?
Yeah. Do you know where that's from? Have you seen The Last Airbender, Avatar: The Last Airbender? So he's an air nomad.
Yes.
And he basically has
the furry.
Yep, the flying sky bison.
Furry homie.
The furry homie. So since it's like he was an air nomad and I'm like a nomad now in this, I thought it was fitting.
Now,
Yeah.
I've only known you as a nomad, you know that?
I wasn't a nomad when I was living here the first time.
Yeah, you were, pretty much.
No, I was out here for college. I wasn't.
That's a nomad.
Okay.
In college? Kidding me? What's yours?
You're right.
What's different now than it was then, if you really think about it?
I feel like there's a lot that's different, but there's also a lot that's...
Then, I'm saying, yeah, but it's like the living status.
For sure.
It's the similar living status.
Similar living status, definitely.
By choice.
By choice. By choice. Yeah.
Both times.
Both times.
And in between that, what was around you? What was different?
In the time then versus the time now?
Yeah, when I saw you, when we were around each other all the time, till now we've been around each other more now than however many. It was like not at all. It was nice to meet you, around you all the time, and then it was didn't see you zero zip zilch since the Total Combat fight, and then
Oh shit! Total Combat.
and then
Nice jab by John. Oh, nice combination.
Yeah, it hit him right on the chin.
Nice kick.
Boy.
Just caught in a sweep.
Oh,
Nice snapping jab.
oh,
Oh! Very evenly matched fight.
oh,
Nice leg kick by Carrito.
yeah.
It's very guys MMA that seem to be equal at every aspect of the game.
Big leg kicks.
Oh, nice high kick by McElroy. Nice sprawl and then switch to the back.
My leg sting.
Oh! One went for tired either.
No.
Nice power double.
Oh, each one coming in, going for another double leg. Got it.
How do you score a takedown? How do you score a submission attempt?
And for your winner by unanimous decision, JonMac.
didn't see you, and then saw you again.
Yeah.
Almost in the exact same amount.
Yeah. So what happened in that blip, that space?
Yeah, well, it was different.
Shit, dude. Okay. So I fucking, after I fought, right? You cornered me.
Yeah.
You cornered me, Total Combat.
And that was.
I went back home to the Bay Area where I'm from. I fought a few more times, but that first fight right after that fight, the fight right after Total Combat, I snapped my shin in half, and it sent me basically on this like spiritual journey.
Say
Like,
no more.
you know,
Yeah.
what is even life? Who is God? What is purpose? Like, the whole dismantling of reality happened during that time.
Was it because you were stuck with yourself, hurt?
There was a little bit of that for sure. You want some water?
Yeah.
Also, I have, on top of water, I have coffee, tea, and whiskey as beverages of choice.
What kind of whiskey you got?
I have Toki Japanese whiskey. Awesome. Would you like some?
Yeah.
You want that neat? You want that on the rocks, or you want it as a highball?
Rock.
A rock?
Rock.
Cool. All right. Okay, so to go back,
How do you have it? Since I've never had it.
I actually enjoy it all three ways. Okay. So neat is basically, just straight up. I have 2 big rocks, so that means we can do either on the rocks once, or we could do a highball. And a highball is basically whiskey with soda water and then a lemon spritz.
Sounds nice.
Yeah? Okay, let's do one of those. So to go back though, okay, so yes, there was a little bit, was like, I'm by myself. I think it was also the first time that I disassociated from like I guess like my identity. Like my whole life I was that, like just growing up doing martial arts and wrestling, and like when I broke my leg, it's almost like you start to be in these questions of like, well, who am I without it? And like, who even am I? Like, what is even, like, you just go down this like rabbit hole of thinking because you're spending so much time just by yourself, you know? I did a lot of reading which helped during that time, but yeah, you go through all these like questions about life, you know?
And so that's all that happened during that time. You got hurt.
No,
And then,
no. So I got
hurt.
hurt.
Years.
Okay, we'll jump like timeline. Can jump in.
So your whole life changes now.
The whole life changes now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally from what I've ever known. The only thing I've only known with you is that.
So I fight 3 more times afterwards. I actually win all 3 fights, but like inside something is different with me.
But you broke. Oh, you seen it after you broke.
After I broke my leg, I came back. I fought 3 more times. I won all 3 of those fights. But inside, because I had gone on this like quest, whatever, to find myself, it was like, I just, for whatever reason, it was like no longer comfortable with like fighting. It just felt like out of alignment, which was so strange because it's like, this is all I've ever done. Like, how is this not in alignment? So eventually I leave fighting after those 3 fights, and I write a book, Exit the Dragon.
Which the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
Like I didn't see you, and then bam, I saw you. You made a book, and you reached out, and we shared a small amount of words, and then didn't see you again.
Yeah. So in
Is
that,
that when you got married?
yeah,
Right after that book?
right. I got married actually right before the book. I got married in 2018. I published in 2019. But like during that time, so 2012 is when I had like my last fight. And then I walked away to like write the book. I didn't publish till 2019. I didn't start until 2013. 2016, I moved to Costa Rica with my, at the time, fiance. We were just traveling a lot together. And so we were traveling abroad. I was living there. I was basically living for like, we were together for 7 years. So for 7 years, we basically like traveled the world together, and I was just living a life of, I'm just with a partner traveling the world. I wasn't like John the martial artist or fighter or even
Yeah, it's a
anything.
different life. It's like a retired life almost.
It's like a retired life almost, yeah. And so I was doing that for a while, and then pandemic hit. I went through a divorce. Ended up back here in San Diego in mid 2021, fresh off a divorce, just wanted to start a new chapter. I always knew I wanted to come back at some point because I wanted to get my black belt from Barrett. You know, so like, well, there's a jiu-jitsu chapter that I feel like is unfinished that I need to finish, so let's go back to San Diego now. But then coming back to San Diego, because I love martial arts so much, it's like, I can't get enough of it. Like, I just want to hang out and go to all the practices. And even though I wasn't fighting, it was like, I just wanted to be around it. Because in the healing of the divorce, it was like, I just wanted to get back in touch with the things that I loved. And what were the things that I loved? This was one of them. And so I found my way back onto the mat, into the gym. And even just fighting recently, you know?
And then now you fight, and then now you're looking at retiring again.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I didn't know if you were gonna
Yes.
fight again or not.
I mean, I'd be down to boogie again. You know, like for me, that fight
I thought
was
it was like some sort of last thing you were doing or something for some reason.
a little bit. I mean, it was a little bit that,
Like you had mentioned that.
yeah, because it was like, man, I just wanted to taste what it felt like to fight on a big show in San Diego, you know, and I walked away from fighting before that ever happened. And then so I had that opportunity with Bellator. I was like, bro, let's jump on this. Like, I've been basically in this era since coming down here to San Diego of doing like things that I wanted to do when I was younger, like traveling international by myself, maybe doing this van stuff. And so fighting on that card was one of them. Man, I really don't like this peeler.
Cool.
So yeah, man, I guess I can't say I'm like never say never. Like I wrote a whole book about walking away from fighting, and then fucking a decade later I came out of retirement and fought because I just felt like, man, that sounded like that'd be fun.
So what does that all mean to you then, looking back, like when you wrote the book, being in touch with those feelings and then moving past those feelings into the next feelings of actually competing and then being done with that competition and then looking at it again? It's like 3 different views.
It is like 3 different views. And it does feel like that. I'll leave this up here in case we have another. We sit down and cheers you.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not quite sure what my stance on it is, because I know that I'm about to have shoulder surgery, so I have a year off, and so like 2025, and we're at the holidays right, it's the week of Thanksgiving, so like 2025 for me is I want to focus on this, because this is something I know that I can do that doesn't take me necessarily being physical. And it is still something that I want to do in terms of like being a human or being an artist or what I want to give back or how I want to show up to the world. Like this is something I want to focus on, and so it's like all I can focus on is this 1 year in front of me. Like I can't even think about like if I'm going to continue fighting or competing or this and that. Like I'm always going to be on the mat because I love martial arts. I love it, you know. Maybe not competing at the highest level, but I would still like to compete. I'd still like to do some jiu-jitsu things. You know, I'm a brown belt, and so like, you know, obviously with Barrett, like part of it is like competing. So there will be competition in my future.
Yeah, to get a black belt, you have to compete a lot.
Yeah.
That's why he's a nasty dude to get a black belt from, because he actually,
Yeah.
I agree with his alignment of it. Like, yeah, you got to compete, and then you can get a black belt. If you don't compete, then I'm not just going to say you're good enough because you're beating up people in the gym.
Right.
That's why he's a G.
Yeah, he is a G. Bro, that fool still be killing me. Like,
Yeah, he's
no big deal. Yeah.
Of course. That's all he does. He lives on the floor.
Yeah. What about you, man? Like to kind of reflect that back. You know, I had that podcast recently with Carl, and we were talking about how pumped we both were when we saw that like little thing come out of you of like talking about One Last Dance, and you're like, when by dance I mean, you know, battle to the death. And that's so fucking dumb.
Well, that's what it is. So, like,
I know, but just the words, like, I could hear your voice because, like, how many times have I heard you speak of things like
what
that?
it is. You know, it's a transformative moment, opportunity. You know, a lot of people get that level of a stage to be able to transformation is a public event. So it's like when I go out there and I compete and vulnerably put myself and my life on the line, there's just a different feeling for like pressing the fast forward button on how to learn is how I look at it. So it's like that's a gift from people who don't get that platform to learn on.
Right.
So that in itself I'm grateful for. And then, you know, I'm obviously challenging myself. That at this point I've won multiple championships. I know what I am. I know I have the will of the champion. I know all these things. So it's more, what do I have in me in the process of building for that next fight. There's still such a transformative learning through life. It's just life and death. It's so scary and nerve-wracking for 8 weeks, and
but you're living at the edge.
it's obsessive.
Right? Like, oh, it is
It's
definitely
obsessive. It's so it's like I only get a small period of time in my life that I'm going to be able to be that obsessed about it, something, until I move to the next thing. And you know, I feel like that level of clear intention is also a gift, and I'm just sure of it. So it's a simple thing to hold on to and find clarity in life for moments.
Speaking of clarity, because like you and I on the mat or off, you know, after practice, we talk about things of like, even when you would ask me questions about if I was done fighting or if I was going to fight or this and that. And sometimes people would ask you of like, when is your last fight? And your mentality at the time was like, when you start thinking about when your last fight is, that's when like your mind goes
Right.
in a different direction. But now you're at a place where you're like, I got one. Like I want to do one.
Yeah, well, that was when I was on my way towards a belt. And then you start looking at the politics of the game. And let's say, you know, I would have won in that fight against Vera that I lost. I still would have had another fight and maybe one more before I would have got a title shot against O'Malley, which he got, right? So
Right.
there still would have been. And with the reality of where my body feels, like my shoulder really is not doing super great. So the reality of 3 fights in a year isn't, it just wasn't.
It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's 2 I could pull off, but 3 probably not. So it's like, that's part of it. It's just the reality of wear and tear. I've had over a decade of title fights fighting the number 1 guy on the planet in that division.
Yeah, literally the highest level of the highest level of the highest level.
So I'm still there, but I can't do it as often. I just gotta kind of step the intensity, like the amount back, because the camps take such intensity to get through to be prepared for that level of opponent. So with all that, it was like, yeah, I mean, they're not gonna give me a title shot. So it's like, okay, let me see where my body's at, keep training, get my body ready after that last fight, and I've done that. And then, just take the next step.
Yeah.
So one more, because my shoulder is just, not doing great.
All right, dude.
All
So
the time.
you obviously, just like how you talk about not having control of like politics or who they give you or like this thing, like you also don't know who you're going to have for this last dance, right? Like, I mean, do you have people who you would like to have this last dance with, or you're like, I'm kind of up to the...
Yeah, and that's the common question, right? Like, who do you want to fight? Who are they going to give? And I don't know who the UFC would give me. I know that Henry has spoken out and that he would do it, and I think that that's the fight to make, that rematch. I would love that rematch.
That'd be wonderful.
That's most ideal. Really, just a rematch in general for me would be ideal for me. Like to rematch Cody or Vera. I know I was doing really well in that fight, so it's like, in wrestling, you sometimes face the same opponent 3 to 6 times a season.
Yep.
So it's like, or in a tournament, you might face him twice in the same tournament.
Yeah, I mean, you guys drop the contos, you got to make that.
Fighting and wrestling are hand in hand to me. I just can cheat. So it's like, I look at it like fighting like it's a wrestling match that I can cheat. And that's it. So it's like, okay, I'll take that. I can be the best at that at any given moment. So rematches, I feel I have a stake to claim in every one of those fights, and just to get another opportunity would fill my heart up.
Yeah.
And the lessons and the things that are packaged up in that route sound attractive and appealing, and like there's a lot there. I think it'd obviously be a fun fight. I don't even need to think about all that. It's what else what do I need to do to prepare?
Right.
Things it brings up inside of me to want to prepare for those specific style matchups. It's fun. But like I said, time. You can only... I like what Izzy said. Izzy said, you got to break up with the game before it breaks up with you. He said it so well. And it's true. And, I feel like I've kind of been cheated on a little by the game. But as it quite broke, I guess I'm too weak to break up. And then I think, man, am I the guy that keeps going back to the one that cheats on me, And that's what he's talking about. It's like, holy cow, the game is like that. It feels like a jealous girlfriend or wife or something,
Yeah.
It just takes everything, takes all your focus. But like I said, there's only a time that I can be that focused on something, and then Father Time takes that piece away, and it's time to switch it. So we're just choose something until the wheels fall off, and I feel like one more would be the wheels falling off.
I feel like that'd be great too, man.
But I said I'd like it. I didn't say it was going to happen. And that's part of the freedom of it is just surrendering to the fact that if it never happened, would I be okay with my life? Yes. But there's a drive. The anger of my last performance still drives me very much every day. So it's still, that part's still there. And so that's the ego and the dark parts that fuel those things are still there. And I don't know if they'll always be there, but they are right now. So, for just make it work where it's supposed to. I feel like, I still can.
I dig it, man.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It's been crazy. It's a crazy ride. But then there's the other piece of my life too, where, I keep a lot of my life private because it's like business and life. And I just think it's the safe thing. Like I look at this very seriously, like war, and all is fair in love and war. And the people who want to kill me for millions of dollars know, the better.
Right.
And you know, it really does remind me of like I'm not saying I'm a superhero, but that's the line. Like if the super
Right. I don't want to expose any of this because he's now become vulnerabilities in the art of war.
Why do they wear a mask? Like
It's gonna be
to
death.
save everybody else, not them. It saves the people around them. So it's like, how much do I need to keep my life, you know, in a certain spectrum,
Right.
for clarity of life, to keep my life sane, to keep it in a boundaries is. But this new world, that's what it's all about, is breaking out of the boundaries and having everything just be one fluent line of you're watching, you're in on it, right?
Yeah.
So it's, how do I balance that? Because I don't want it that way for the people around me.
Right.
Excuse me.
You don't want to. You want to keep some of that for yourself, right? You don't.
Yeah, so it's my
Yeah.
space, my time, not everybody else's.
Right.
And so, yeah, that part of my life is growing while I'm fighting, and I never used to have that. So that's been the biggest development in my life.
I love to hear that, man, because from knowing you, even though like we talk about this huge time frame where it was like we were seeing each other all the time and then I like disappeared and then like we're seeing each other all the time again.
Yeah.
I know how driven of a person you are. You talk about like you get obsessive about these things and you have to be at the level that you're at. You have to be obsessive. It has to be like only this. And so I know that the sacrifices that you've been making for this past decade of fighting at the highest level is like you're sacrificing those parts of your life, you know, in order to achieve these things, in order to do these things. So like to hear that you have more balance and like you're having fulfillment in that area of your life, man, like just as a friend, like, bro, that brings me joy to hear, dude.
Well, it's not something you talk about when you're at the gym.
Right.
You know, I have balance in my life. You know, you're just at the gym,
Right.
fucking each other up. So it's the way it's supposed to be. Like, I'm there to fuck you up.
Yeah.
We don't, you know. But that's why you asked me to do this. I'm like, okay. But we've never, for the camera in the world, we've never done this. This is
No.
the most intimate talk I've ever had with you. And
For sure.
I've known you I've cornered you for fights.
Yeah, you cornered me for my pro debut in 2008. And
All that.
Actually, just to pause real quick, because we're like 23 minutes into this and we're just chopping it up. I haven't even introduced this guy.
Oh,
We just got into it. You probably already know who this is. Dominick Cruz, former UFC champion, just a champion in general. Like I feel like even if you call someone former, like you were still a champion. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, once a champion, you're always a champion. That's the cliche they say.
sure,
right?
exactly.
To understand,
That.
to end everybody's hearts.
Yeah. Friend, training partner. We've spent, like you said, like just how we mentioned, you know, like this is the most intimate conversation we've had, but we've spent a lot of time beating the shit out of each other.
Which is arguably more intimate sometimes.
Right. I even think about, because you're talking about wrestling, I think about,
No Diddy.
we ain't going there.
Well, it is. I see.
Yeah. I think about, like, say, the people from high school, which, because, like, we're the same age, right? You're 85? Born 85?
Yes.
Yeah, so, like, when I think about the people who I'm still friends with in high school, it's all just the people I wrestled with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that's, like,
Same.
you just have that bond with that person, like,
Same, actually.
forever. Like, even if I don't see you forever, bro, like,
You mention it. It's the exact
it's
same.
like, when I think about it, it's like, man, all my, like, friends that I still kind of keep in touch with, like, they're the people I wrestled with, the people who I went to wars with, the people who were in the trenches with me, like.
Well, there's no way to hide. That's why I believe everybody should have to have a fight or cuff weight at least once in their life, because it's the only way you really see the only real way you're going to see who you are, and the only real way I'm going to see who you are is in those scenarios.
Yeah.
It's true. You see the soul of somebody.
Yeah, dude.
There's no way around it.
It is totally that.
There's no way around it. There just isn't. It tells the truth, because I will kill you. It's just so simple. It's beautiful. It's easy. I don't have to worry about if I trust you or not anymore. I don't have to even care.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fuck you up, and you're gonna fuck me up, and that's enough. It's beautiful. It's so
So
easy.
wild.
It's so easy.
It is.
It's in all of us to do
It's,
it.
yeah, no, it is. I mean, it's so primal, but like at the end of the day, like we are primal, like we are animals. Like these are things that are part of our nature, I feel.
I don't remember the name of the guy who said it, but where man is the animal that knows he's gonna die. I don't remember who was it said that, but it's so true, because it's really just our souls that separate us from being animals. Like the knowing that we're gonna die.
Yeah.
But we're really just animals. We're part of nature.
Yeah, dude. I was talking about
think
the
we're
other-
not.
No, we think we're not. Like, bro, we eat the food from the earth. We drink the the water, like breathe the air. Like, we're literally the same as all those other things. Sure, we're like really smart, and we have this consciousness, but like physically, we're also just animals.
That's the weirdest thing about it.
It's wild, bro. It's wild.
Yeah. So when it comes to life and all these things mixing together, that's what martial arts is. It's so basic. That's how we got on the animal
Right.
ideas, because in martial arts it's literally just basic. It's not. I think of it as a simple life, and then when I'm out of it, that's when shit gets hard, because now I've got bills and I gotta remember things that don't make sense.
All these other
ad lib, like,
Sure.
like
adulting matrix things of living and
my
society.
bag's in the mail. Did I put in the form, like, for my insurance? Like, what? Like, I don't want to think about this. It's so simple in the fight world, or it reminds me of like when it's kind of like freezing being in college, like, because I've seen college kids and then never really leaving that stage. It like carries. It's like you don't have to do it's so basic, because training takes so much time.
Because that has to be a full-time job. That has to consume
There's
you.
nothing else.
There's nothing else you could do.
Nothing.
No.
Or like
If you want to be good,
correct.
or
Just get your ass kicked.
or you're just getting a traffic.
Seriously.
Because really.
It shuts everything down. So that's the weird thing about it too. In the transition period is how can I keep the sport. I've been in the sport for 10 years while doing TV. So it's like a decade of calling fights while also fighting in fights at the same time has been a wild fucking weird ride.
Yeah, dude. How
That's
how was that for you? Because like you were fighting, right?
Yeah.
Like you were fighting, and it was basically like you had these string of injuries. So it's like, well, what the hell am I going to do, right? Then you became this like UFC analyst, commentator, and then eventually you were like physically able to get back to fighting, but then you still kept that role.
Well, because you need a job.
Right.
Like, I needed a job always to pay my bills.
So how is that like balancing, like, because you're obviously, I know you do your homework because I know who you are as a character, and like you're gonna like research these fights, you're gonna study these
I don't
things.
understand what else the job is. Forgive me, but it's not like I'm just supposed to know.
Yeah.
How do you know if you don't even watch the person?
Right.
It makes no sense to me how that's even a discussion. It's not about do I do my homework. That's the only thing I could do to be prepared for the job. There's
Right.
nothing else I could do other than watch the person on film. There's so much to really say.
Right.
It's ignorant to me that that's even a topic, because it's the job.
Okay. So in that job,
Not to eat, like, not
I know.
saying you, but
No.
it's like anybody who thinks like how I was busting DC's balls. It's like, dude, there's nothing else.
That's exactly what I was thinking about right
There's
now.
nothing else to, like, otherwise I'm just showing up going like, I know what he's gonna do. How do I know?
Yeah.
How many fights
Yeah.
I've watched in the last year?
Do you feel that? Do you feel
I
that
love
like
DC, but it's like, come on, man.
right? I've always viewed you as an intelligent fighter. I feel like that's something like you could figure out this puzzle and kind of like do these things. Do you feel that like being this analyst has now like supercharged your ability to break things down or to see,
I
or
don't think that I like have some kind of super thing. I swear to God, I've kind of tried to, my come from for doing the job is simply for when I was coming through as an athlete, sometimes I felt the people that were calling my fights. So if you think about it, like, let's say we're looking at a piece of art on the wall, and you're going in, you're paying how much for the art to go to the show, $300 to walk into this. And then some guy's going, yeah, this is what this means, this is what this means, this is what this means. And it is not even what the painting means.
right?
Or it's none of that. It's all interpreted completely different than the actual owner of the painting would intend. Well, you'd need somebody who's really understands art
Right.
to
Break that down and see
or
what
that
is.
knows the person, or that's read one page of their literature possibly, so that they can explain the painting, right? I look at fighting the same way. It's like, how can I be here for the athlete? Because sometimes I was just doing things that are seen now every day, but when I was doing the moves that are seen now, they were not used. They were considered wrong a lot of times. I was told, stand one stance.
Right, because you were
put your hands
you were very unorthodox in your style.
You're unorthodox. My unorthodox is not unorthodox now. It looks normal to a lot of people.
Right.
Like, that's how much the sport has evolved over the years. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what my point was.
It's okay. You don't have to have a point. We just be in a scramble, no two.
It was,
How many fucking those have fucking existed?
yeah, but
Fuck.
it's all, commentator. That's why.
Sure.
I'm about commentating and why I do it. I do it for the athlete, basically, is like seeing that people sometimes didn't understand what I was doing.
Right.
Inspired me, like, hey, maybe I could give that. Maybe I could give that
I like that.
to
I
the
like that.
fighter, to like that their art can come out, because it's not just a spinning heel kick. It's how many steps set that up that
Right.
most people might not understand, that it takes that
Right.
many setups.
Because you are who you are, you can now articulate what's happening, and you
that
can
it's that many
showcase the art.
setups. Like, I can explain, like, it took a lot of work to be able to hit that body shot. It wasn't just reach down and hit the body. Like, he's been throwing hooks to the head for 10 minutes, and then finally
Yeah. He keeps
he threw the one to the
keeps
body.
fucking-
and he set that up. And it's like, that's a gift to be able to give to other athletes of how good they are, I feel like. And when I was hurt, I was trying to find ways to give back to the sport that had already like given so much to me, because I had more than I ever thought I would from it. So that's where I started commentating, and that's why I started watching the film, because it's like, I got to see what they do.
Right.
Right.
You know their tendencies, you know their behaviors.
And I don't think
that
that there's one right way to do it. Like, for all I know, people just have like a good vision, and that's how they do it. So
Yeah.
everybody can commentate or do their work how they do it, because some people have completely different gifts. And I do believe that on the desk, what's good about the producer that we have is he brings us all together like a team, like literally kind of like a superhero team or something, with each person does its own thing on the team, or each one does their own specialty, and we all work together. And without each spoke, one of us would be so overworked that we couldn't do a good job. So it's a lot, actually. Like, we all work together in a good way, each one of us. Like, I like working with each one of the commentators because they support me in a different way. That
Right, you just bring a different balance to each other. You have a different
Exactly.
angle, and now we get all these perspectives versus like everything is just this. That's
Yeah.
like, bro, it's not really how it is. Like,
No,
there's-
and while I'm talking and I'm working with Rogan, it's going to be completely different than when I'm working with Bisping. It's going to be completely different than when I'm working with Fitzgerald and Anik. And each team, like if you're playing on a basketball court, runs differently. You got to communicate differently
Yeah.
and get along with people differently. And I like everybody I work with. So it might seem like we don't, because we bust each other's balls a lot.
Yeah, but that's 100%
fun of it.
personality.
Yeah,
too.
I love them. Like, they're my people. You know what I'm saying? I love all of them.
Yeah.
A lot. So, but yeah, I feel like if you watch like Barkley and all them, Shaq, they're always busting balls
Yeah,
too.
oh, for sure.
They're not any
100%.
different than that. It's
Yeah.
like, they're just burning each other all day long.
Yeah. I think it's the nature of like even wrestling itself. You know what I mean? Like you're just like in a locker room, you're just like talking shit, like, So maybe to the outside eye that, they see this like, oh, they don't fucking get along, but sometimes that's actually exactly how we talk to each other.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta be able to make fun of yourself too.
100%, man.
It's a form of intelligence.
So commentating, you're going to obviously continue to do, right? After.
I hope so. I enjoy doing it. I feel like my contract's locked in right now.
Yeah.
But everything's a contract. Nothing's permanent unless you do work. So I just keep showing up the best I can.
Yeah.
And I'd like to keep doing it. I enjoy watching fights, and I enjoy giving back to to the fighters like what I see. And I know some people don't think I see the right stuff. So it's like, that's part of the fun of it too.
Everyone's always gonna have their opinion, though, man.
But that's the fun of it, though. It's like, it goes both ways, and I can take their feedback and keep shifting and moving, and it's cool to be able to be there and learn.
Bro, we're just gonna side tangent. Speaking of shifting and moving, you've been fucking living in Mexico for how long?
Yeah. True, 8 months.
8 months.
I'm here for this week. Next week I'll be in Vegas. I'll work for UFC 310, and then I'll go back to Mexico City. And I've been working with all the there's like a team of cadets, basically, or I don't know, that's probably not the name of them, but up and comers.
Okay.
I don't know. And they're all from the region. They did a combine, and all the UFC PIs that are building in the world. There's one in China right now that's already been out. This one's brand new. I believe, not 100%, but I believe there's another couple being built in different areas. Like, I know the thought's out there at least.
Right.
So, but now that I've been in this one in Mexico City, you're at 7,000 feet, so you got altitude, and then you got the PI establishment. It's like, feels like I'm in America. Everything's state of the art.
I know, bro. I've been seeing
Clean as a
your
whistle.
stories.
Like, I can eat off the floor, easy. It's clean, So everything's perfect. Excuse me. And then I have this stable of a bunch of savages from South America that all just try to kill me every day.
Yeah.
All champions in their own regions. Chile, you've got Mexico City, you've got Costa Rica, you've got Argentina, you've got all these different dialects, all just living in a
Like a dormitory?
dorm in Mexico City for a year.
That's part of the...
For a year, they get to stay there. And they're part of this combine. They do the combine, they tested, they beat everybody, so they get picked on this team of 20.
Okay.
They get to stay in these dorms, they train, they have a schedule, 6 a.m. to basically 4 p.m. every day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and packed. And you're there for a year. And then each year you have to test until you're 30. So you can test back in every year, but you got to keep winning. You got to beat these next stable that come in and stay part of that squad, right?
Do they have that in the UFC?
Well, this is what I'm saying. This is the system I believe that they're looking to create. And each one of these first ones that come in, we're all test subjects. So they've got our heart rate monitors. They've got everything. So I'm part of.
I know. I've been seeing you with all your test stuff, dude. I'm like, dude, what the hell? It's
incredible because this is like where the sport's going. Now you're going to have state-of-the-art custom reference points through however many athletes choose to do these programs for precision training. And then you get an encyclopedia, and you're writing encyclopedias on a brand new sport of all.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, it is wild, but it's real.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it happen. And they're taking, like, for instance, my heart rate was not matching. And so they had to drop it down to a different frame. Like, there's little adjustments because of physiology that changes. And then they're just doing all this science. And they're keeping track of, they'll do DEXA scans to know how much body fat percentage you have, your bone density, what's weak, what's strong. And then they fix those things with the strength and conditioning, which is in touch with the medical, which is in touch with...
It's a whole ecosystem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dude.
And it's incredible. And it's incredible to watch these 20-year-olds get this when I'm 19 fighting behind like props in a farm. Like literally there's like goats behind me and shit. I'm like,
Right, you were part of the Wild West. Part of the Wild West.
Like, this guy's barely made 10 pounds heavier than me. It's at 155. Like, it's so much stupid shit. And these guys you might as well be like the Russian on Rocky.
Right. You have all the highest technology.
Yeah, it's insane. And I'm getting to feel it and be involved, and I feel so grateful to just like jump in with these guys.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
They keep me young because as long as I'm fighting them, I'm on that level, right?
Yeah, you know physically exactly where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's why I'm confident to come back and do another one. I feel good, and I've been doing a lot of work out there, and the altitude is really difficult, and it's extremely challenging, and that's part of the confidence that you get and everything else. So yeah, it's been a crazy experience, and juggling that with life and work.
And you're always traveling anyways, right?
Yeah.
It's like even when you were here and you weren't in Mexico yet, it's like you weren't even always here.
Well, you got to kind of travel to make money when you're a private contractor. Essentially, I'm like
Right.
a private contractor. Like I work for the UFC as a private contractor. I work as a fighter and as a
Like a commentator?
commentator. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So all that, like each one of those jobs is
Yeah, you're always traveling for that.
just ESPN. I'm a private contractor for them. So
That show you do is like OJ and stuff, the breakdown. Is that the one that's on ESPN?
well, I do it with, it's the show that I do, which I'll be doing in Vegas. Actually, I'll be filming another Unlocking Victory.
Unlocking Victory.
And,
That's the name of it.
I basically break down like upcoming pay-per-views, like
Right.
the key main events, and instead of just talking about it, I'm able to act out like their key moves and how
Yeah.
they flow together from watching.
Keys to victory and things like that. How
Yeah,
it's gonna
like
play out.
how their weapons, like everybody has a weapon
Hmm.
or three about, and if I can find each one of your three weapons and then compare it to the other three weapons, you've got basics of the fight now that have styles. And
Right.
the styles work together.
Yeah.
So just got to watch enough to find those things. And
Yeah.
it takes a little bit of time, but it just depends.
But that's the job, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just part of it, right? Like, what else do you do? Like, how, I don't know any other way to do it, but everybody's got their way.
Do you see yourself like just posted in Mexico until like after this fight, or like I'm just posted in Mexico now? I'm seeing what my relationship with this like. I mean, obviously you can always just fly back to San Diego and things like that, but like lifestyle wise, like outside of fighting, outside of like all those things, obviously that's one of the reasons you're there because the UFC PI is there. But I mean, how are you digging the lifestyle out there? Did you know Spanish before you?
No, not really. Like, I could understand it decent, but now I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Still not perfect. I could use what do you call it? A tutor. I need a tutor.
Yeah.
That would be
Do
ideal.
you have time for a tutor?
I have
like-
time, but not with training. See, when training's done, life's simple. It really is. There's not like. Then I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what's different in this last 8 months? It's the fear. It's the training. It's the fear. It's the knowing that they will knock me out. Period.
Talking about these young guns.
Anybody. I could go to weightlifting. I can go to strength and conditioning. I can go to jiu-jitsu. I can go to, wrestling. The fear of getting hurt isn't the same. And then also in wrestling, if you think about it, the competition of getting taken down or getting the takedown is such high stress, just like to make sure you're not a loser that day, and you go home feeling like a loser even though you're not, and it's all made up in your head. And then you get, I got submitted 3 times today. Like, what's different? Like, I need to get sharper. I gotta do more jiu-jitsu. Like, has nothing to do with it. You just got caught 3 times because you're going with better guys.
Yeah.
Whatever. But each thing is the fear, the anxiety of being a loser, or the attack on your ego. And when you're in bed and you're at night and you're just embarrassed about what happened to you that day or that night, and you wake up at 3 a.m. That's the obsession I'm talking about. And just wake up fucking angry and ready to like kill somebody, but you're mad at yourself and you want to go on a run and all that stuff. Like, that's what's hard.
Yeah.
When that's gone, just that part, just the caring if you win or lose type of part, life's easy. It's so simple. No stress. Like, what? Car accident? No problem. I don't give a shit. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
When I get back, I'm like, cool. I don't care. Like, nothing's hard. It's not scary. It's not.
Because it's not life or death.
Yeah.
And you're putting yourself in life or death. And you're living at the edge. You know what I mean? Like, it's basically like a modern day samurai. Like, when they would.
Then you add that to, I gotta pay my, gas bill on time. Like, you're like, what the fuck? These 2 worlds don't work together. Like, I just need to. Do you understand this guy's gonna kick my head off tomorrow?
Yeah. Like, I can't worry about that right now.
Don't
worry about that right now.
Of course you have to worry about it.
Right.
Of course you do. But it's weird how the worlds clash together to me,
Yeah.
and how, you know, the life and death is the hard part to me. The scare of winning and losing is the hard part. But once that's gone and you're not preparing for the next fight, everything's easy to me. I'm gonna just switch hats, take that hat off, put it down. I'm still commentating. I still, you know, get to coach. I still get to compete through giving, basically, to the next fighters or whatever. But then, you know, I get to find my next clear intention. And what does that look like? And, you know, I'm in thoughts of it, but pretty much it's how can I make a difference? That's it. How can I make a difference, and who can I make a difference for? Besides my family. My family's inevitable. That's an extension of me. So I don't really count that. I'm going to make sure that that's taken care of, obviously.
Yeah.
But who can I make a difference for? And then that for me will be the next step away from, you know,
This.
fighting.
That's my new clarity. That's my new direction.
Yeah,
Where I'm in
direction,
energy and focus.
Direction is more important than destination to me, and I feel that's the direction I need to move, and things will acclimate from there. Who can I make a difference for? You know, I've gotten to work with guys like Nick Nett and Brian Balspal, and are two names that, you know, I get to tap ideas off of, and just new people.
Yeah.
Meet new people and learn from them.
Yeah.
Mentors and stuff in the world of away from smashing somebody.
Yeah.
Different thing. It just really
It is-
is. I mean, I've been out of it for a while. Don't get me wrong. I've been
Right.
doing other things. I'm not like a kennel dog as much as I used to be.
Right.
But I'd be lying to myself if I didn't. You know, I'm still living, still focused on hurting somebody more than most things in life right now, and how to do that most efficient way without hurting myself.
Yeah. Do you feel like because you're still in this space and there's this one more dance and you're still in this to talk about, like, you know, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't in this kennel, like, are you in the awareness that, like, I'm not going to have the clarity on the direction until this is done?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like,
How limits you.
yeah, because how can you focus on that?
I'm in a
It's like,
kennel. I go to the kennel at night and I sit about and lick my wound and think about everything that I did wrong in the art of war that day.
Right.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
And that's what feels most simple to me right now.
And that's the present moment.
And it's nice, but it won't last forever.
Right.
And when that's gone, then it's just everything. So it's all right.
Yeah. Then you got to find
You're out of
clarity.
the kennel. There's no more kennel. Now you
Yeah.
don't go to the kennel. You just get your free roam in the house. Now what? Am I going to go chew something up? Am I going to piss in the corner? Like,
Yeah.
you have too many options.
Yeah. You actually won't know until you get there.
Exactly.
You won't know until you get there.
So that's interesting. But that's what I feel happens to a lot of people who retire. They don't know, like, you got so much freedom. You're no longer in the constructs of the sport holding you in a kennel.
Yeah.
So you see it time and time again with, you know, not just MMA fighters, just athletes, right?
Right. Like, what do I do now? Almost. Like,
And then a lot of them come back to the sport. Like, I'm not going to retire and come back. Like, I know I'm not. When I'm retired, I'm retired. That's why I want to use everything.
yeah, like, this is it. Like you always say, like, till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
I've honestly heard you say that since like, talk about the first time I met you. Like, it's always even when I'd, like, just even this little pop-ins, or I'd come visit San Diego or something, and I'd, like, come show up to a practice or whatnot. It's always like, bro, till the wheels fall off. And you literally have been doing that shit.
When it's done, it's done. It's like,
That's it.
I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, but I gave my body to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I have. And that's why I'm not, like, attached, because I'm giving everything I have. And my body's just going to do it till it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I love it.
What would present day Dom, knowing that you want to dance one more time, what would present day Dom, like, tell pro debut Dom?
That's a good question. Like, one, I mean, it sounds simple, but it's all we really have is take a big, deep breath and just keep taking big, deep breaths. Don't stop taking big, deep breaths. Get your breathing aligned with you. It's the one thing you have through the most abrupt pain and panic is your breathing. So take a deep breath and probably, yeah, trust yourself and trust your instincts, because you do the work for that.
Yeah.
to do those things.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah. I just made sure I always worked so hard that I didn't have to worry about winning or losing. I could just trust myself
Yeah. You put in the work.
to let go, yeah, and
Right.
then just have fun on that moment. And as you get older and then you start dealing with the injuries and all these things, those are the tricks as a professional, as a veteran professional that takes the real, like, oof, when you show up to a fight not 100%,
Yeah. I know that, man.
and you mentally got to deal with that, and you still compete, you still win with a torn MCL or a broken foot or a broken hand, and you just shoot with cortisone and you do it anyways, or your shoulder's torn or your feet are blown out or whatever, and you do it and you show up and you don't get fucked up and you fuck the other guy up. That's when you learn who you are. So it's the times when it's like nothing's right and you still get it done that kind of numb when everything goes right
Yeah.
and you win. It's like, that's weird. It's like, it was too easy. That wasn't fair.
What would you say the greatest thing that fighting has taught you? It's obviously given you a lot. Like, you have like, I mean, it's literally giving you this whole life that you have. But like lessons, you know, as you're coming to a near close, you know what I mean? Like, you're obviously in awareness of this. There's lots of chapters still in the life of Dominick Cruz, but as this chapter is like, you know, come to close, there's a little bit of ability to kind of reflect on it. You know what I mean? Like, what are some of the greatest lessons it's taught you?
Man, that's to know. It's hard to narrow that down, obviously, right?
Sure.
I've been fighting for 20 years. Over 20 years. I started in 2006. I started fighting, and I was wrestling since I was 11, year round. Didn't stop wrestling. That's all I did. And I played football. So, like, in those sports, to say one thing I learned or a few things I learned would be impossible. But it's just mostly probably being able to trust it is at the real core of it. It's kind of deep because that's what it comes down to, but it's like trust comes from love, a loving place, and you know, fear is the other stuff that I used to fuel me through most of my career. And then fear works for war really well until it doesn't. It has a cap.
Right.
And when I lost, that's when you realize, okay, it got me to this point, but now I have to rewrite something. And so then I started to see that things around me in my life weren't working. It wasn't just fighting wasn't working. Like whatever I was doing at fighting wasn't working. That also reflected some things in life weren't working, relationship-wise, friendship-wise. As you get older, those are the things that become more important to you. And so it's like, okay, I need to make some shifts. And it always happened and aligned with fighting. Fighting always told the truth. So that moved me more towards, you know, relationship and giving back to the things and family, you know, learning about how I could love myself more, and rather than, you know, you're an effing loser. You're doing your best. You're going to do better tomorrow. Now, some would argue, like, you know, the self-talk one way or other, you got to be mean to yourself. You got to talk shit to yourself. And yeah, okay.
Come on, body.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say that. Come on, buddy. You got this. But that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice way to do it.
Yeah.
But I used to say,
That is nice, Dom. That is nice, Dom.
Yeah.
You didn't always have.
no, it would
Bro.
be a fucking pussy, get up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay. So little things like that, as cheesy as it sounds, shift.
Yeah.
And then when you start being nice to yourself, you can be nice to other people. And I feel like that's why they say, you know, first you fight, then you teach, and then you heal. Because that's the martial arts way. And it's like, I'm just in these steps and I see it happening.
Yeah.
Because I can't be nice to you until I'm nice to myself. It just will never happen.
Yeah. You can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
You can't
So,
give what you don't have.
and to use fear to win is using my ego to win and talking shit to myself like you're a fucking loser unless you get this takedown. Like, I get it, but it goes to a certain frequency where it stopped working for me. And I needed to find a new way to communicate with myself in a way that worked,
Yeah.
so that it also reflected the people around me outside of the room.
Right.
Because I didn't just live in the room anymore.
Right.
So that's what I mean. As you get older, I think this is what happens with athletes too, is you have to merge the worlds together. You can't just
This isn't that isolated college lifestyle where all
you just can't do it. It doesn't work. Life doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You need to get along with sponsors. You need to get along with the guy who runs your company. You need to get along with, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be that fucking meathead beating people up every day. You got so many other things. So what I'm talking about is that, like, martial arts showed me how much I didn't know, how kenneled up I was, how locked down in a box I was to be an athlete. And when the athletic events got taken away, who was I? And I was a kenneled dog. They did not function in society to an extent. Like, that's what the injury showed me.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like, I just didn't, nothing was working without the sport because I didn't do anything but sport.
Yeah, so you don't know anything else other than that.
Yes,
so it's like, I don't have this operating system.
It was done. It was nothing, and I had nobody around me because I left my family to come here to train. So now when you take training, I didn't expect that. There was no way for me to, like, be prepared for that kind of, like, jumping off a cliff to, okay, here you are. You're here in California. No friends, no family, no nothing. Why? Why don't I have friends? Why don't I have family? And then you start thinking about it because you have time.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, that's when you start realizing, like, okay, there's more to this puzzle. And it's not just fighting. It's all of it gets to mix together and find the balance in it. And some people would say, no, you have to be obsessed and it has to be all you do, otherwise you won't win. True. You're telling me that that's the only way? There's no way to be able to, you know, it's just, I think that it's a story we make up that it needs to be that way, but there is a way to find the balance to mix it all together.
There is a way. But that's a common story that we tell, or we tell for so long, so we just buy into the story, we pass the story on of, like, this is the only way to do it.
It makes sense, though, because that's when I did it.
It does work, and it worked for you.
But it didn't work in life. It works in war. So it's like, that's what I'm trying to say. What worked in war doesn't work in life, because life is not just, like, living this regular life is not war.
Right.
They're two different worlds. So to find the balance between the two has been a huge journey in itself. Like, to see that in order for me to be okay and surrender to the fact that, yes, I will murder this person or they will murder me, and then leave that world and come back to, look, I got my notary license today. And you're like, cool.
Yeah, all right.
And it's like, this needs to be a celebration. You don't need to be like, I don't need to be a meathead and say that ain't shit. It's like, that's a big deal. This person going out of their way to, little things like that, it sounds silly, but those are, like, things that were missing for me.
Yeah.
Just giving a shit about something.
But now you're obviously
killing somebody.
way more balanced.
That's the goal. Thank God for martial arts for that. Yeah, it helped me learn. In my losses, I learned what wasn't working, not just in the fight world, but also in regular life. And that's that. I don't like that I had to lose. Nobody wants to lose. But it's lessons, not losses, they say.
Yeah.
If you use them right, never waste a good crisis.
Never waste a good crisis. My cousin used to say, you can't mold cold steel. Meaning, like, you're in this crisis and it's gonna get split, and it's gonna be fire like that. You better use this time to, like, shape and mold yourself, like hammer away at the steel, because
thank you. That's fighting. That's literally what taking a fight represents to me. What you just said right there. You're putting yourself in the fire to mold, and what comes out, sometimes it's a mess, sometimes it's not.
yeah.
Like,
But that's the key to transformation. And even to go back to, like, what you said, like, it's a public transformation.
And it's transformation is a public event.
Oh, there you go. Transformation is a public event.
But it's like that stuck with me because it's like, yeah, that's where, because you're so vulnerable.
Yeah.
To be embarrassed, and everybody's going to talk shit about you.
Yeah. I think that was actually one of the comments you put on, like, something I posted, like, after, like, my Bellator fight, and you wrote that exact statement.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Even when you win.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know, the whole thing is just a spectacle, like a magnifying glass. Now you're in public. Everybody's making fun of you in public. Everybody's talking shit about you in public. Everybody's loving you in public. Can you even receive it? That's a whole nother thing.
Receiving love is it?
And it always comes down to the same shit.
And
it's like, love is fucking weak and it hurts you and stay away from it was the theme of my life for most of my championships until I lost and then started learning like new things.
Yeah.
So it's like things, you can't explain why that would work that way. It's just strange. Fighting does weird shit.
Yeah, I think the issue is we try to, like, if we talk about being these conscious animals, so like we're intelligent, like we know our death. I think one of the problems is we also try to explain everything as if we need to be able to explain it. Like, hey bro, like you can talk to that beetle all you want, you can never explain it quantum physics. Like I feel like there's just some shit that we're not going to understand.
No, we're never gonna.
You know, we're not going to
need to
understand
understand it, but it's just feeling it and learning from the crises is more what I'm looking at. I'm not trying to understand it as much as like, what can I learn from this?
100%.
Like, why is this here for me right
Yeah, what is this here to
What
teach?
is this about?
What is this? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what is this thing about? And when you put yourself in the fire, that's what you get.
Yeah.
You get those types of things, but I look at it as a fast forward. It's like, I could still learn those things. It might take way longer, but I go throw myself into a fire real quick.
Supercharged real quick.
It happens fast. It's like pressing a fast forward button. Yeah. So there are opportunities that I'm taking when I challenge myself like that. Now you hope you come out on top. You do all the work to make sure you do. And if you don't, then don't.
Yeah.
When I can and I will, when I can't, I can't. So I think things will flow themselves out the way they're supposed to, and just keep working. Just be ready for the opportunity at all times.
Yep.
And then it'll present itself. So then the work never really stops. And that being the case.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is where you're at, man.
It's where we're all at, really. Just doing it in their own ways.
Yeah.
Some people do it in school. I happen to be doing it for a fight. And then I'm still working. So it's like, how do I mix the two worlds without overworking? So I can't compete. I don't think there's a lot of other guys that are doing the TV right now. I know DC was doing it for a little while
Yeah.
and competing. So it's just different.
But you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's where you're at.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it, dog. Well, I appreciate you, man, coming onto the show, chopping it up, keeping it real. Any last words that you...
No.
I mean, I feel like you said so much already.
Well, we talked for probably an hour and a half,
Yeah.
maybe 2 hours.
Let's see. Where are we at? A little over an hour.
Yeah, perfect.
A little over an hour. No, that's good, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too, man. Good to meet you.
To meet you in this capacity.
Well, it's just totally different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is the longest conversation we've ever had.
That's what I mean. It's usually just, okay, triangles,
Yeah.
hooking arm bars. Like, what's next? What did he say?
Yeah, this is where we at. What is that a view of, dude? What are we sitting downtown? Is that Coronado Bridge? What is that over there? Yeah?
It's Coronado.
Beautiful sunny, not sunny right now, but beautiful San Diego.